Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. I'm your host, JP John Paz. With me today, very special guest, two-time former GHC World Tag Team Champion. You may know him as Shane Thorne in NXT or Slapjack in WWE. The mighty Don't Kneel, Mr. Shane Haste. Shane, welcome to the two-man power trip. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Very, very good to have you on. What have you been up to? What's going on in your world?
Um, in regards to what, man? Like I've just been chilling out, relaxing, working out, not keeping busy, and now it's time to start getting busy. Just living life in lovely LA. Got engaged recently, so just started planning a wedding. So that's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could be, I guess. Yeah, depending on your definition of fun. But yeah,
fun. Yeah, no, it's good. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of companies out there that can really do a lot of the thinking for you. So yeah,
oh yeah.
it's good. Very good.
What about wrestling wise? You just kind of laying low, getting back in shape.
Oh man,
Or
I'm
in shape.
probably in one of the best shapes that I've ever been in. Like I said, like I've had 90 days to rest and just work. My schedule lately has just been wake up, walk the dogs, work out, do some cardio, eat, sleep, then rest, just rest, and then doing that every single day. Changing my workouts up. I've been doing a bit of in-ring training and whatnot, and getting not I'm not old, but I'm older than what I was when I was in my 20s, and trying to lift like I did in my 20s, trying to max out my deadlift. Threw my back out, and I was out for like a week. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to be back wrestling, I've got to be smarter about how I work out. So that's been fun. Like just for a few months, I've just been tinkering with my workouts, changing up how I do those, just whatever gets the best results without over fatiguing the muscles, over fatiguing myself, and then still being able to train or train the next day or work out after training.
So have you been going to like a actual wrestling school, or like where are you actually training in ring?
I've been going to NPW school with Ray Rosa. He's an old friend of mine. Pretty Peter Avalon got me onto there, and I've just been going down there on his Wednesday nights. I think it's like an intermediate class, and it's good, man. Ray Rosa is a great trainer. I've trained a fair few people in my day back in EPW Perth. But yeah, it's just he does a very different style that's very good on the bodies, and it's a lot of like movement and spatial awareness, footwork, things like that. And it's been really good. It's good to meet the new people out in the California area too. Some good people, some good kids.
Are there places like you're looking to work, like places you want to get to, or you're pretty open as if you don't have your sights set on specific places, but you know where you want to work?
I definitely want to keep going with New Japan. I just came out to help my man Jonah the other day, and so we got some things lined up there. So I'm hoping to then start working in Japan. I miss Japan so much. Like, I was there for such a long time before, and now it's a thing of getting back there and getting back into it. I kind of feel like I'm almost a rookie again. Like I'm just getting I got to get more steam. I got to get something back behind my name. So like, yeah, I'm open to working anywhere. I want to work. That's my biggest thing, man. I love this business. I love being in the ring. I was thinking about it today, and it's like it's stressful, and like like pro wrestling can be really stressful, and it can suck. But then once you're like in the ring doing it, it's awesome. So I just want to be in the ring doing it. I know I live in uh, LA, around LA at the moment, and I know there's like a lot of stuff starting to pick up here, like GCW, West Coast Pro, stuff like that. I'd love to work with those guys. Like I see their shows. Everyone sees their shows. They're picking up a lot of steam at the moment. So yeah, the New Japan Strong stuff. I'm loving that. I love that locker room. But yeah, ideally my goal is to get back out to Japan.
Mikey Nichols, is he on your radar? Maybe.
Of course, I speak to Mikey all the time still. We're just hoping to. He lives out in Australia and he's got his wife and kid out there. He's very loyal to his family, so that's where he'll be based. And if I'm based here, we can, or is it with the mirror like that? Meet in Japan. That's the goal. That's the dream. We're going for the dream.
TMDK, got to get them back
That's
together.
it.
Like the
That's
shirt
it. And
says,
same
you got to
with
get them back together. Yeah.
always, man. Same with Jonah. Jonah here, and a bunch of the other boys in Australia too. Like Slex was meant to come out for Ring of Honor a couple of years back, but things changed. Marcus Pitt, Damian Slater, Mikey Broderick, all guys in Australia who are so good, and I'd love to see them travel out to Japan. You know what I mean? That'd be great. Big faction war over there. Show everyone like who else we've got. We've already got Harley Jackson out there in Japan.
Right. I feel like more gaijins need to get back over there. Like it used to be flooded with them, and now it's not as much because of the pandemic and stuff. But hopefully that's changing and moving where you guys can get back over there more frequently.
That's what I hope. But also with pandemic times, I'd rather the world take its time and heal and get things right. Whatever your opinions are about it, your opinions about the pandemic and all this stuff is. Like things are still happening, and I can, if it saves even one life, I'm okay waiting to go to Japan or back to Australia, things like that. So hopefully we get back on track, but let's as a community, as a planet, let's get it all together.
Right. Absolutely. So just going back to like WWE, how did you actually, and we'll obviously get into Noah a little bit too, but I wanted to ask about WWE. How did they kind of get on your, or really you get on their radar and you get signed by them? Is that something where Johnny Ace is scouting you guys? Because obviously you guys made a name for yourselves in Noah, a little bit in ROH, but really, I mean, Noah, the GHC Tag Team Champions. Is that how you guys got noticed? Would it be Johnny Ace?
No, it was actually Matt Bloom. Tensai, as I know him as Giant Bernard. The first few times we did Noah, so even going back further than this, Mikey knew Chad Anderson. He knew Chad Aguilera through the New Japan Dojo in LA. So when we would go over there and he happened to be there at the same time, we would meet up. And he took us out a few nights, and we'd meet Bloom there. And, Bernard worked a few of the Noah shows as well. So yeah, we just made a rapport there. And as our Noah contracts were kind of coming up, we wanted to go to the next level. So we reached out to, I think it was probably Chad, and then Chad put us in contact with Matt Bloom. And so he organized us to get the tryout over there. And Regal was there, and we made a good impression. Like Regal, we explained our stories to him, and he understood who we were and where we were coming from. So yeah, the Noah name definitely helped, but it was a Matt Bloom signing, and then Canyon Seaman at the time. He was a big fan of Australia, so yeah, he was a good ally for us to get in there. I didn't meet Johnny Ace until much later, like in the last few years, which he's a good guy to me. I really like Johnny Ace. We were doing the when SmackDown went to Fox. They flew me to Vancouver to help out with the commercials. If you have a quick little look and a glance in the bottom right corner of one of the snippets, I'm actually in the commercial stomping someone. But me and Johnny Ace were sent there to kind of oversee the movements and making sure that just everything was more authentic. And there was one point where they're doing the RKO, and they're asking me like, "Hey, how's the is this right? Is this right?" And I'm like, well, if you want to know, the man who invented the move is right over there. And so that kind of snowballed our talking of the people we've worked in Japan and Japan experience and stuff like that. So we've bonded. I'm a big fan of Johnny Ace.
I always find it funny that people are like, "Oh, they call like the Diamond Cutter." Like, come on, it's the Ace Crusher. Come on, it's Johnny Ace's move. Come on. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. In the pantheon, and then obviously Orton he kind of takes precedent now with the move. But
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like it skipped over him, right to DDP. But it's Johnny Ace's move. Come on,
Yeah,
Ace.
man. I love it. Ace Crusher, cool, bad.
Yeah.
What was it? The dynamic dudes.
Him and Shane
Yeah.
Douglas. Yeah.
First guy to use a skateboard. Now everyone's doing skateboards.
I think though,
what a good trio that would be. Do they still do King of Trios? They should bring back King of Trios and have Johnny Ace, Darby, and Mark Andrews. I want to see that team.
that's not bad. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. Sign up for that. I think Johnny Ace might be the only one that doesn't know how to ride a skateboard, though.
Doesn't matter. We'll figure that. We'll call it out there.
I always found that great, though, when the dynamic dudes came out. Shane and Johnny always were carrying it. They were never riding it. They were always carrying it because they didn't know how to ride a skateboard.
I'm pretty sure I seen him go down the entranceway in it. It was very shaky, but
yeah, maybe a tiny bit, yeah. But they weren't really riding it, though. They were almost like gliding, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust those entrance ramps. I trip up there and I'm walking.
So with obviously when you get into NXT, how long between like the tryout, them liking you, and you guys actually getting signed?
So this, I think I've told this story before, but to go over it again, near the end of my Noah contract, during a match, I tore my ACL and finished the match. Afterwards, I'm kind of like limping, and I asked them, should I go to hospital? And they asked me, do you want to go to hospital? And I said, no. So we just taped it. I took a weekend off. And then from after that weekend, I just did 6-mans and we just taped it like a cast around my knee.
Wow.
And just kept going. And then every week we'd take a layer off. And I've talked to doctors and whatnot about this. And I think they've said like the muscle around can eventually stabilize as well. So I never went to the hospital to get it actually checked. Our contract was coming up. It expired, and then we flew home from Japan. Pretty sure, no, I may have been home for a little bit. I got a CT scan there, and then the next day flew off to America to do the 3-day tryout. So I did my 3-day tryout with a torn ACL. Got the job. We got me and Mike got accepted on the last day with a handful of others. Flew home. I think we're going from like Orlando to Dallas. We get into Dallas at midnight, and a bunch of us get off that plane to go rush to this other part of the airport to get on the next flight. And we get there, and there's nobody there, like just around. It's an empty airport, and we're like, "What's going on?" Finally, someone kind of comes past, and we're like, "Where's this flight?" And like, "Oh, it got cancelled." No one got an email. Like, there's about 20 people who were just like, what the fuck? So anyway, we end up getting put up in a hotel for that night, catching the next flight out. But that was the one day we had home before we went back to Japan for another little stint before finishing up there for good. But in that time that I got home, I think we had maybe 20 hours, if even, not even a full day. My results came back and they're like, oh, you have a torn ACL, which I'm like, damn, this sucks. So I messaged Canyon and I'm like, hey, man, I just found out I have a torn ACL. They say it's 6 months recovery and that the visa process takes about 6 to 9 months. I'm sorry if this is letting you down, but I just thought I'd be honest with you and tell you what's going on. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Just get it fixed. And I was like, okay. So I did I think I did 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks of that Japan tour, then flew home, got the surgery, 6 months of recovery, did another 2 weeks in Japan, and then that was our final hurrah before flying off to Orlando to move. But yeah, it all kind of just luckily worked out, and my surgeon in Australia was a big wrestling fan, so he kind of skipped me ahead of the line and got me in there real quick. So yeah, nice. That's kind of the dumb luck that I have.
Yeah, good to know some people. Damn, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think like, what did you think when you first got there? Obviously, the knee is better at this point. When you first got there and they decided to change your guys' names, and did you expect that? Did you think that, like, okay, obviously they're going to do that, or did you think they
Yeah,
should
I
keep
think they
our
were
name?
changing that. Yeah, they were changing everyone's names at the time. So we had a few names in the back pocket. Like they asked for a list of different names and things like that, and that's not what they went with. um, so
Always hear that story that they always kind of
yeah,
go in a different direction.
yeah, we kind of got it on the day. It was very rushed. Like we were excited to get onto TV very quickly, but in hindsight, maybe waiting a little bit might have helped flesh these ideas out a little bit more. Um, so we pitched +61 as a name. Um, another one was I can think of was War Boys, but not spelt WAR, but like I don't know if you know who Steve Waugh is. He's a Australian cricket player. It's like WAUGH War, and then Mikey would have a different War. Like there's different ways of spelling it. So it'd be the different ways of spelling it and be the War Boys, and we just rip off Mad Max essentially,
Right.
which I thought that was a fucking great idea. But that didn't work. And then the next day we get to TV and they're like, "All right, here's your new name. It's TM61." And I'm kind of like, "All right." And they're like, "Well, we've taken a bit of the old thing and a bit of one of your other ideas." I'm like, without the +61, you kind of lose a little bit of the meaning. But I mean, nobody uses old dialing codes anyway, so it was a long shot. And we'd given them a list of names, which I put Shane for all of my names. I just had a bunch of different last names, which they didn't pick any of those. So Mikey put Nick Miller as a joke as the last name because back in the Noah Dojo, we used to watch New Girl all the time, and me, Mike, and Zach, Saber Jr., name drop, whatever, would always joke that Mikey was like Nick Miller because Mikey has a grumpy Nick Miller face, and he always everything goes wrong for Mikey, but in such a hilarious way. Um, so when we saw that come up on the screen, we thought it was hilarious, and we're like, "That's hilarious! They're not going to. Surely they're going to know that's a character from a very popular TV show."
Right.
No, and then we were like, "Hee hee, we got one through on them." And then like later on, we're like, "Oh, that's kind of backfired on us." And then the name they had for me was Shane Turner because they wanted a T last name, which um, TM. So Turner and Miller.
Right.
And this was around the time that like Scott Turner, I think it was in the news a lot, and he was like a very problematic person. So I was like, can I not have any association with the name Turner? And they're like, if you can think of another name, then yeah. And another name I thought maybe Taylor. Um, and then I was like, oh, my mother's maiden name is Thorne. So that was an easy one. And they ran it through legal and that worked. And I was very happy with that because like Shane Haste is a name that I've used for a very long time I've had it in my pocket since I was 16. I think I've been using it. And when I was 16, I was a very athletic sprinter. So I like the idea of haste, speed, things
Right.
like that.
Yep.
And now I'm a little slower. So I'm like, so it's kind of like Shane Haste.
Right.
I just put emphasis on the Shane part. We go from there.
I always wondered though, like I know that they want to own the name, but sometimes like you guys had international
Mm-hmm.
stardom. Like yeah, I always would think like, wouldn't you want to keep some of the names? But yeah, I don't know, they're
We
weird.
didn't want to. I think Mikey bought the copyright to TMDK back in Australia, so we still had boys repping TMDK out there. So we didn't want WWE to ever own TMDK. So that
Okay.
was we were definitely okay with changing our name for that.
So you guys were okay with TM61?
Uh,
Kinda. Not
you just
really.
like you just roll with it. The thing me and Mikey have always done, no matter where we've gone, we've just said yes and done the best we could do with it. That's how we got to where we were in Noah. They said, all right, start at the bottom, work hard, and we did pretty well. Like considering like doing that attitude every time we've come to the States. When we did the little bit of Ring of Honor stuff, they were like, all right, we'll put you in this proving grounds tag match. And we did that, and we did that to the best of our abilities. And they're like, and I don't think they'd decided on who was winning it until the matches were done. And our hard work paid off there. So that's just the thing. Like everywhere we've gone, just work hard and it pays off. So that's what we did there. But it's a different beast. It's more, it's a different beast. Hard work does pay off to an extent. Like, I mean, I was there for 5 or 6 years. And really, since that first year, 2016, I didn't really do much. You know, I was just there, working hard and being a good hand. So I got, you know, I have a good career there. And that's due to hard work, where I've seen other people who don't work hard and that come and go much quicker. So
true. I do remember a great match you had with the Briscoe brothers in Ring of Honor. I remember that. You guys were kind of, you know, the proving ground, if you will.
Yeah, that was great fun.
Yeah.
We had some friends from Australia coming because it was like a WrestleMania week. And we had some friends from Australia who came along to that show as well. And they were like front row and they loved it. They said it was amazing. And the Briscoes were awesome to work to. Like, it was awesome. Like, they were just so intense. I just remember there was one point too where we did the apron smash. And then I vault out, do a double stomp onto the back. And usually I just land on the ground. And I like land on the ground and there was a wet patch. And I just flipped ass over tits. I was like, if any time I was going to get injured again, I think that's the last time I'd ever done that double stomp to the outside part again. Because I'm just like, that could have been disastrous. Like, I could have been done. Like, not worth it.
So back to NXT though, when you guys are in there, pretty good tag division though for the most part. There, you had DIY, you had Aries and Strong.
Yeah.
Is there any like sort of talk like with Triple H or whoever? Maybe I guess maybe you could tell me who was like booking, but is there any talk of like, hey, we're going to do tag title run or Dusty Classic? I know you were a part of Dusty Classic, but what is like the talk? Because there's a bunch of good tag teams. Are you guys in the mix?
We were told we were winning that Dusty Classic until that day, which I knew we weren't. Like we'd been working with AOP in all the house shows and stuff like that, and like I knew they were the ones, like they were putting all the effort behind,
right?
And they're good dudes, man. I like they're so. We finally got the second. Like they finally paid it back to us in the next year's Dusty Classic or the year after that. I'm not sure if I was still injured for that next one, but yeah, they're good guys. I think I still follow them and I check up on what they're doing and whatnot. But they're always good to us and they're very appreciative of the work that we all did together. But you know, they had the cool entrance and the music and the manager and all these things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not winning. And like at the start of that takeover, they pull us aside and they're like, all right, so you're not main event anymore. You're the opening match. You've lost a bit of time and they're going over. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know. Like, I was like, okay, like we knew. The writing was on the wall. So
who told you that you were going to win originally though?
Just the bookers, the office. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But also I had another torn ACL at this time too.
Wow.
The match with Roderick Strong, the I think is it the only singles match in the tag tournament that's ever happened.
Yeah, that was weird. Why the heck did they do that? Yeah, that was weird. Yeah,
because I think the night or two beforehand, Aries had busted his eye on something, so he was out for a few weeks. So we still just needed to film this. So yeah, we just had the singles match, and during that, I do the double stomp, and one leg just goes straight to the ground, and I show people it, and I'm like, you can see I grab my knee, and I'm like, ugh.
Not again.
All I could think of was, Terry's not going to let me hear the end of this. Terry Taylor always is like, don't need to be doing dives and high risk maneuvers. You're just going to get hurt and blah blah blah. Like, and we're like, whatever, old man. But then it's like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, he was right. But like again, we just didn't get it checked, and I could walk. I was fine. Like, Well, I could walk. And so I did most of that match on one leg, and I knew we had the Japan and Australia tour immediately after this, and I'm like, I'm not getting pulled from that. Like, let's tape it. I'll walk it off. She'll be right, and it was. And then I got it fixed after, so no harm, no foul.
Did Terry Taylor bust your balls about it though?
No, he was good about it.
Oh,
He was very like get better. You know, you're a hard worker. Terry I'm kind of like Terry's favorite. I guess you could say that. You can quote me on that if you want.
Yeah, yeah. How is Terry Taylor? I mean, we always hear so many different stories about him, positive and negative. But how is Terry?
He was rough. At first he was rough, but then once you kind of break through, and it's just because he cares about this business and how it's done. And last time I saw him, he was at a really good point in his life as well. And yeah, he was fun to be around. He was very motivating. A lot of the things he'd teach us at the time were like wrestling has changed and whatnot. And you're like, Terry, we don't do that anymore. We got to do more and we got to do this. And now I find when I'm talking to people about their matches and they're like, do you have any advice? I just keep throwing Terryisms at them. And I'm like, oh, damn you, Terry, you were right. And he always says this. He goes like, oh, one day you'll be like, oh, Terry was right. I'm like, damn, Terry was right.
That is funny though. You're using his, his own stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that you never thought you'd be using. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
How is Triple H? How is he? Is he accessible, easy to get along with? How is he with the boys?
I didn't have too much.
Oh no.
No, we weren't really his favorites, but he was always nice to me. We'd always have a bit of banter and whatnot. But yeah, he's a busy man too. So like, I wanted my work in the ring to be what I presented to him rather than having to go to him and be like, hey, book me, do this with me, do that with me. I wanted him to see me in the ring and be like, all right, well, we see that.
Right.
Yeah.
With you guys down there, you mentioned Authors of Pain, DIY. Who else did you guys work down there? Because there was a pretty good tag division kind of. I mean, it was pretty strong for a little bit there.
Yeah, we worked Heavy Machinery a lot. Like especially when we did the heel turn, we did Heavy Machinery at least once or twice a week, which was on the coconut loops as they call them. Was a lot of fun. They're good guys to be in the locker room with. Their offense and their style of wrestling is just so crowd friendly. So that easy. You just have fun out there. There was the Ely brothers, who I don't know if I think they made some. Oh, we worked them when I came back from my knee injury. We worked them at a pre-show for a takeover, and they're like the twins, the tall, big, jacked twin dudes, and they were cool, man. Like we had fun, and the crowd and the coconut shows loved them, and like we worked them as baby faces and them as heels, and then like we switched it around, and people loved them as baby faces after that. Like, so they were good. And then Street Profits, we worked Street Profits a whole hell of a lot. Yeah. I don't think we ever won.
Huh. What do you think about the Street Profits? Everybody kind of has their eye on Montez. Everybody's saying that Ford is kind of like the next guy, or could be the next breakout guy. You see that from him?
Yeah, for sure. He's just so well about Tez. Like, so he is himself, unapologetically himself, and where I've seen in myself where they've told me don't do this, don't be like that, and I've gone, okay, I'll do whatever you want. He was like, okay, and then he just went and did himself even louder, and it's paid off for him, and that's who he is. He's so athletically gifted, and a very good guy as well. Very good man.
So when you guys are down there and you do turn heel, did you want to be heel? Would you rather be face? Like, what were you thinking at that point? Any thoughts in like, we should be this, should be that? You're just rolling with the punches.
Oh, we should have been heels from the start. They asked us like, are you heels or faces? And we're like, well, we cheered in Japan, so I guess we're faces. But then I watch my stuff back, and I'm like, we're heels. We're just
Yeah.
clearly heels. We're like
Right.
dicks. Like we're just dick. We're just dickheads. And I'm like, damn, we shouldn't have been doing this from the start. Um, so yeah, it was very freeing to be heels. Yeah.
Were you surprised when Nick Miller, aka Mikey Nichols, were you surprised when he got released?
No, he was pretty done at the time. He wanted to go, and his family, like his wife, and I think, yeah, he had a newborn kid. You know what I mean? Like, you can't family, man. Like, and so, and then I think we were kind of at the end of our ropes there too. Like, he was miserable every day, just being away from his family and the pressures of that. So yeah, he wanted to be gone, so him going was good for him. And then like we knew there was Japan, so and which he got good momentum with, and then pandemic hit. But yeah, things will start rolling back up again, and he's in a much better place now than what he was then. Now that he's home with his family.
Did that kill TM61 though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're in a tag team, you want tag teams to stick together, you break up, or did you think that was better for you to go do your singles thing?
I was led to believe I had a good singles run coming because I'd said I think I'm going to leave too, and they told me don't leave. Like they have something for you. Don't leave. So I stayed. And like
Did they
we'd been teaming for a long time, so see. I wanted to see for myself as well. Yeah,
did they tell you like what they had in store, or they just left it open?
very open, very very open. I was like, all right, I'll trust that.
Well, what did you think though? Did you like kind of what they had for you? Because I know you wrestled Johnny Gargano and like kind of little mini feud and stuff like that. But did you think that they had anything for you? Like, did you like the singles run that you were going on?
I had ideas and just nothing ended up. They're like, yeah, and it's very much a thing that you can pitch ideas all day there, and it's comes like I don't know. I feel like they want their own ideas. Um, so like I'd pitch ideas, and then like that breakout tournament little storyline thing that
Yep.
then went to go. That I'm like that came out of complete left field. So I mean, you see people their ideas get picked up a few times, plenty of times, but then also like you can just wait for an idea to come to you and then work around that. But I got a lot of freedom with that little storyline. I'm like, how do you want me to be? And they're like, just be angry at it, stuff like that. None of the promos were ever scripted. They just said, you know what you want to say, go say it. So that was cool.
When you want to pitch ideas, who are you pitching it to? Just the writers, or do you pitch it to, Regal, Triple H, or something? Like, who are you actually pitching to?
Just the writers, like at NXT too. At the time, I don't know how it is now, but the writers were the NXT star, like were there. So you had pretty good access to the guys. We would do promo class once a week, and that was with the head writer. So you could show him some of your ideas. And Ryan Katz was awesome to, if you wanted to film. Like I filmed a few extra things with him. Like I had like a Negan esque gimmick,
Oh, I like
but I
that.
had a cricket bat, and I called it Michael was the name of the cricket bat,
Hmm.
and I was a nice friendly guy, but then if Michael didn't like you, well then that's too bad. Michael's going to beat you up, and I'd be like, it's not my fault, man. That was Michael. You pissed him off. So like kind of things like that, and then just some ideas with just other people teaming. Like me and Jonah wanted to team over there, and Steve Carino put us in a few tag matches, which we loved, and I would have loved. We had an idea of that of where he's the face and I'm the heel. I'm the dickhead friend, and then eventually he makes me like, oh, okay, and we both be nice guys, or both go bad guys. Um, a lot of things like that, but it was just pitching it to the writers. Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea, though. That Negan idea with the cricket bat. I like that.
Yeah, and I was
They
going to have
shot
it
it
for.
down in a blaze of glory.
I just don't think it went anywhere. Like I filmed some vignettes and stuff for it with Ryan Katz, and I think I can't remember who it was, but like I just saw how many people were at the PC doing nothing, like, and they were doing this stuck in the same thing. And there's a lot of these younger guys who need TV experience, but then weren't able to get on TV. So I'm like, well, this can be a stable, and I'll use these other guys to do my dirty work for me. Then I come in through and do something like, and then they don't have to have the matches. They're just getting TV experience, and we use as many people as, like, you're paying these people. Why not use them? Why not get as many people out there as possible? Which I see that's kind of what they're doing now. The new NXT,
Yep.
I'm like, this is great. This is what, like, just get people out there. Get them, you're paying them, use them.
Yep, sink or swim. Get out there and get over. Yeah.
Pretty much any idea I had, though, involved about 2 or 3 other people. They're just like, let's get them out there. These are good people. They're hungry. They want to learn. And their next step is learning in front of the cameras, in front of the live crowds of TV.
Absolutely. So you're paying attention to NXT 2.0 or not really?
A little bit. I still got like some good friends there, so I like to see what the Australians are up to. I'm not like, I don't watch a lot of wrestling. It's like a thing that I prefer to do than watch, especially because there's so much of it now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
every day of the week.
Yeah, I like sitcoms and action movies. So that's why if I get free time, well, I mean, I've had plenty of free time.
Right.
I watch Japanese wrestling, and then the clip. I watch the clippets of what's going on. I support my friends. I like to see what the Australians, or when someone new comes out. Like, it's good. Like the way they're doing it now with the vignettes, and then little things. They're introducing people with little interesting things that are like meant to grab, because everyone has that short attention span these days, and I do. So when I'm scrolling and I see it, I end up watching it. It's a 2-minute little clip. I'm like, oh, you got me.
And I like when they film stuff away from the arena, or perceived away from the arena.
Yeah.
I like that because it keeps it. I don't know, it keeps it fresh a little bit, because it's sometimes so boring. Like at the arena, oh, they're in the back. Oh, then they're like, I like how they're spicing it up.
Yeah. I like some good pre-tapes and things like that.
And Grayson Waller's got a lot of potential.
I don't know about him.
No.
He's a bit of a dickhead. I don't think it's not a gimmick. That's just who he is.
Oh, damn. Oh, I thought it was a gimmick. Shit, damn.
No, he's a piece of shit. He got a problem with that. He can come find me.
Yeah, I like it. Yes. So what you actually get called up, obviously, how does that happen when you get brought up to the main roster and you're in WWE, you get called up from NXT? Is that Johnny Ace?
I feel like that may still have been a Matt Bloom thing, because that happened during the pandemic, where they were running out of the PC in Orlando because of travel restrictions and things like that. They couldn't fly everyone in. So they had to make up the numbers with the people who were already in Orlando. So that's how I got that gig of doing the main events. Like, main event was mostly NXT people in that time. And yeah, they knew I was a good hand and I could work with people and make people look good, and I was trusted. So yeah, I think that's definitely how that came about, of just being there, and being seen. And I think Vince came to a few of the main events. Like, he was there for that, and he liked my work. It's a great job once.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. Great job, pal.
He said, hey, you, good work. And I was like, no probs, man. And we fist bumped, and I gave him a lift, like in Dirty Dancing. And that's a true story that happened.
So obviously he did like your work, though. Obviously, though, that's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah. And then that's when me and Brendan Vink, what's his name nowadays? Hudson Duke.
Yeah.
Duke
Hudson. Yeah.
Yeah, Duke Hudson. We did some. He liked him because he's a big, handsome boy, and so we did some tag stuff there. And then that was with the MVP. So that's when we officially moved to Raw, which I'm like, we didn't officially move to Raw, but I don't know. People are like, wow, this is amazing. I'm like, man, it's the PC. I'm wrestling at the PC in front of nobody. Like, this is the same as a training day. So that, I think that kind of helped too, because then there was no pressure. Like, I'm just like, cool, I'm gonna go wrestle, and if we screw something up, they'll just stop the match and do it again. Like,
Yeah.
it was TV. It was very much a TV show then. But yeah, just being seen like that, and then I just always wanted to, like, there's a Matt Bloom thing. He said, like, you have a great matches when the two guys try to outsell each other. And so that's my thing, was like, I always wanted to bump hard and sell hard and make the other person look as good as possible. So yeah, so I think that's what got me moved up. And then it was, I was just filling spots on main event. We did, because we did the tag thing, but then they went with Hurt Business, which was a great idea. Like, I'm like, can't be mad at that. That's a great move. Yeah, and then they just had me doing stuff on main event until they needed actual bodies for Retribution.
Did you think, though, that you're debuting, there's no fans, like, you got called up, you're in the big times, you're in the big leagues, quote unquote, but it's in front of nobody? Did that kind of like sour it a little bit, though?
No, I just felt like at that point, like, I'd been doing the same thing on NXT. I was happy to be out of NXT. Hopefully, like, nothing had changed contract wise or anything like that. Like, it was only that I was doing this. Like, who knew what was going to happen when the world opened back up and when they started traveling again? There was no guarantees we would stay there. You know what I mean? Like, as in Duke Hudson went back to doing NXT stuff. There's a few people who went up and then didn't end up doing anything and then went back down. So there was no guarantees. And, like, I've been in this business long enough now to know not to get my hopes up on anything and just to take it day by day, thing by thing. Yeah.
So Retribution comes knocking.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? You said they just need bodies, but come on, Slapjack was a big part of that group.
Well, so that's like going back to what we're talking about the out of the ring stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they first started doing Retribution, these segments were awesome. They were flipping cars, throwing Molotov cocktails, trashing the place.
Yeah.
I don't know who did that, but that wasn't us. Like, but then when they're like, yeah, we're gonna have you guys, some people join Retribution, I'm like, fuck yeah, man! I'm gonna smash some people and do all this shit, and we're just gonna be like hooligans doing all these pre-taped things. And then Mace was the first one, actually. He did stuff in the backstage. They did, like, backstage stuff with Retribution, beating people up, and he was one of the people there launching people over boxes and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, this was cool. And I'm like, fuck yes, we're gonna get in there and we're gonna do that. And then it did not become that at all.
Yeah, why did it almost, like, the thought of it's like, okay, that's a cool idea, it's different, it's controversial, they're really breaking glass, they're really turning cars over, they're really destroying property, like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, let's use this budget.
Yeah, how come they decided, like, to just kind of squash all that? It seemed like it had some potential at first.
My theory, like, I've never been told anything solid, but my theory was we were running out of the PC at the time with a skeleton crew. None of the big stars were coming every week. We moved to the Thunderdome and all the big stars start coming back. So Vince had his stars to play with now. So that was my thing. And you can't, like, be like, oh, we deserve it more than Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. I'm like, no, we don't. They're stars. Like, that's what happens. When your TV show gets your main characters back, you're going to use the main characters. So,
right.
And that was the thing. Like, we pitched ideas to have different, like, a lot of different people as the leader. Like, we want, like, Shane McMahon or Edge or just someone higher, like, as high as we went as high as, like, we pitched for Vince to be the leader as well. Like, we went as high as possible with who the leader would be. So that's, we wanted to be attached to one of the main characters. And I guess at the start we were doing stuff with Bray Wyatt and Hurt Business, which, was Lashley. So
yeah, and it seemed like it was headed somewhere, like you said. And then I don't know, then it's just like kind of flounder, like maybe the big names came back, but at least like you were almost working with the big names, Lashley and Bray and Randy Orton for a minute. Like it almost was headed in that direction. Was there something said to you guys or like, we don't like the way it's going, or there was no talk of anything?
No, we didn't get. There was the only direction we ever really got was after we did something. So we got a lot of creative freedom in that to an extent of like how they wanted like be sort of like this, and then we do it there sort of not like that. So it was very trial and error, and then I think they just got bored of it. Honestly, Ali becoming the leader was not something we pitched, but it was a happy coincidence. Like that was great when we found that out. We were pretty stoked about that, and then the little storyline we had of him turning his back on those guys. I'm like, this is great. Like this is a story, and then wrapped up and finished again.
Yep.
Oh, falling out of my chair here. What have I done? Yeah, I'm cool. What else, man?
with Ali, like you mentioned, could be Shane McMahon, could be Vince, could be Edge. Was that a little bit of a downgrade though? Because it's it's not a star; it's a guy that they're trying to build as the leader. Do you think that it should have been Edge or
well, those
Bray
were
Wyatt
just
or something?
like just when you're pitching ideas, you got to start at the top. By no means is Ali the lowest, because Ali has been on in a lot of great moments, and we were kind of beaten down by then too, of like they just keep throwing us out there with such little direction, and we're just getting steamrolled all the time. But then Ali has such a passion for this that he was going in there and seeing Vince and being like, let's do this, let's do that, and just pushing it to be more for as long as he possibly could. So yeah, he was really good for he reinvigorated it all, kind of.
When you guys are, your retribution, you're the gimmick, but what do they say to you guys as far as like, why are you Slapjack? Why is he Mace? Like, do they give you that kind of direction at all or no?
No, not at all. Like we assumed the mask were going to be an entrance thing. That all came. That was a whirlwind of a day. We knew they wanted masks. I think that kind of, I don't know if it came from Dijak pitching even before that, he was pitching kind of terrifying mask things for himself, which he said he'd given Vince that pitch, and Vince loved it. So I think he took a bit of that, and then the guy who made Bray Wyatt's mask made these masks as well. So the quality of the masks were amazing. He did not design them. I'll tell you that. He did not. He just did the best of what they gave him.
Right.
And we all saw how mine turned out. And so yeah, it was just kind of like, this is it. And then like, I guess they kind of wanted to see what we would do with it, because we did do a promo. I don't know if it was made to TV or whatnot, where it kind of showed us before the masks, and then with the masks on, and then Ali is trying to. The name thing was like, you're going to make fun of us for these names, like you've made fun of me for my name. So I've taken these people, and this is the identity, and I want them to. I can't remember, it was so long ago now. But yeah, stuff like that. So we figured like this is just kind of like to shock you, and then we kind of become ourselves again. And I think that's kind of where it was going to go, and then it just didn't go, and now it's kind of like, oh no. Yeah, it was rough.
So Slapjack, I'm guessing, was not a name you created or you came up with?
Not at all. That was I can't remember what segment we were in. The opening segment. It could have been the first time we got the masks. Maybe. We were running through it. Doors. So we had to run backstage, and as we run backstage, we just get pulled aside, and we're like, "Hey guys, here's your new names." They're like Slapjack, T-Bar, Mace, Reckoning. I'm not sure if the girls were off doing makeup or hair and makeup, I think, at the time, or getting ready. They were pulled aside to do something else. So it was just the three guys. And we're just like bewildered of, like, I know what a slapjack is. Like it's a little weapon, like they're meant to be weapons, and
Yes.
I just wanted to hear from them. Like, I go, so what's a slapjack? And they're like, oh, it's this badass weapon. And I'm like, that's not what people are gonna know. I knew it was gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like, and then T-Bar is meant to be that boy ain't right, I think. And I was like, and then Mace is cool. I'm like, damn it, Mace. I'm like, you get the cool one.
Right.
I remember we used to film the backstage segments in this one spot all the time, and there was a security guard there for the building. And one time I get there early, and I'm kind of like thinking of my stuff, and not my stuff. I didn't say anything. And he goes, "Hey man, I love this. I love this character that you've got. I love Slapshot. Slapshot's awesome." And I'm like, "Oh, that would have made sense, but actually,
Yeah.
it's Slapjack." And he just looked at me and goes, and went back to his post to say shit.
That would have made sense with the hockey mask. That would have made sense.
I'm like, you know what? That would have been great. Yeah.
Did you like the mask though? It should have been Slapshot, but did you like the mask?
No, it was rough, man. Like, and I'd asked to have some. Vince loved the masks. The first time we got him, we put him on, and he's like, "I love him. These are great." And we're like, "Yes, sir, boss. Whatever you say." Like, not going to argue. But he asked, like, "Is there any changes or whatever?" And the vision on the Slapjack one is like wearing horse blinders. So I just said, "Can we get these cut down a little bit so I can see?" And I wanted the mask, the mouthpiece, to change to be like downward lines so that it didn't look like a smiley face, which are like cool. And then maybe cover the nose part so it's just the bottom of the nose, not my whole dorky nose hanging out. And then only the little bit of that got changed, which didn't help anything. We had a tag match once, and I got hit with a kick from the side of the head, and I was looking forward, bam, and I was out. Just
Wow.
like, yeah, and then it was hard to breathe in. It was hard to keep straight because they were trying something new with it. So it wasn't like it was like a bike helmet at the back. So you have to fit it really tight, but then it's going to loosen up as you're wrestling. And of course, it did. So it would move around a lot, which then you're blind on this side and that side, and then just
Did you think like, okay, this is gonna lead to something like Slapjack is gonna be a good gimmick, or do you like, oh man, I can't wait till this thing is over with?
Well, it's so these like characters of Retribution, especially like the masks and the monsters, stuff like that, is to me is marketable. Like kids, if you're a kid in a store and you don't really know wrestling, you're going through the toy section and you see these masked like monsters, it's very appealing. I think they're very appealing. It's a very appealing thing for children. Um, and so we were like, cool, let's play into that. Like, let's just be over the top monsters and there'll be bad guy villains. I think it's marketable. All of this marketing, they're like, these are just the first masks. They'll change and evolve as you guys go, which I don't think they have. Like, I know the other boys are out of the mask now and into face paint.
Yep.
So there's that evolution of them. And their toys are cool. Like the T-Bar toy, the Mace toy, the Ali toy, the Reckoning toy. They got all of Retribution there.
What happened to Slapjack?
You tell me, mate.
Damn it.
What is it? Ringside Collectibles. We're beefing, man.
Yeah.
6 years of different outfits and gimmicks.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Come on, man.
Get your shit together.
I'm gonna start making my own toy company, and it's just gonna be all Slapjack, and then we're gonna put you out of business.
Hey, not a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Did you think like when they ended Retribution, were you like, thank God? Like, did they tell you they're ending Retribution? Because it just seemed like it ended.
Yeah. Well, we had we kind of did, but we had like it implode, and we did a slow-ish story of Ali getting more and more aggressive with us until eventually we walked out on him. Oh, another idea I had for Slapjack, right? It was like Halloween time, and someone had made that comment that it looks like a paper plate with the eyes cut out. And I'm like, why don't we make that? Like, why don't you make a piece of an image that people can print out, and it's just Slapjack with the dotted cut, and you just cut that out and you put this piece of paper on your face. Like, that would have been great. It would have been free. Just a little silly Halloween fun thing. Nah. It's like, come on, man. That would have been hilarious.
That would be good, easy for the marketing department too, like to create something like that.
Like that,
Great
yeah.
services,
It's just a black and white picture, and you print it out, and then you got a Slapjack mask. Would have been great.
Yeah,
Free little
easy.
thing.
Yeah.
So
were you happy to go back to Shane Thorne? Were you happy to be done with Slapjack and have him in the rear view?
Yeah, because I told we did that last little bit, and we're standing there, and they came past, and they're like, okay, so we're gonna have the big boys be a tag team. They're gonna take the mask off of you and make you a baby face. Because I mean, why would you cover this up?
Right.
And Mia, they said, we're going to put you in the women's division. I'm like, ooh, fucking revolutionary stuff there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mia and I got moved to SmackDown, and that's where. No, I don't think either. So I was at SmackDown every single week. And I think I got written into the show and off the show about 4 or 5 times.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It became comical of how long I can be employed without doing anything. I'm like, how many times can we start this?
Why is that though? Why the stop and start?
No idea, man. Like, it's just run out of time on the show. But SmackDown's a shorter show, but I'd go. I'd wrestle in the ring before the shows, train with people. Now, some of the most fun I had in WWE was working on SmackDown, and like on that main roster run where I might not have been doing anything, but just hanging out in the ring with people and wrestling. Like I said earlier, clip back to it. No, whatever. I love being in the ring, and I love training wrestling. I like when you're not thinking about it and you're just doing it. And so I'd get in ring gear, or not ring gear. I just get in training gear and just hang out in the ring, stretch, roll around. And if someone wanted to come in and bump me around, I'd do that. Like, I had plenty of matches with people, like where I'd take apron bumps and top rope bumps just for the fun of it. Wow. I'm like, oh man, got to keep that bump callus up. Yeah. I feel alive. I'm like a shark. I tell people I'm a bump shark. If I'm not bumping, I'm dying. But I think one of them was just a basic backstage where Pierce and DeVille were talking, and they're like, all right, well, here's a new person for SmackDown, Shane Thorne. And I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? And then Sami Zayn would come cut me off, make it about him. And I'm like, cool, whatever just gets me in there. Like, I'm not pitching to become world champion or anything like that. I just want to be I'm like, just put me in the background. Like, and I'll be like, whoa, and like, just have me in the background for a few weeks. And then people be like, what's this dude doing in the background? Like, whatever. I'm like, whatever, just so I exist. And then that got cut. My part got cut. I think the backstage thing still happened because they didn't want me to be Shane. They wanted a new name, which I was like, call me Dave, call me Bob, call me John, whatever. You're just gonna call me Thorne in a few weeks anyway. Like, people don't have 2 names. You're just gonna call me the one name, so who cares? Like, whatever gets me out there. And then, yeah, that didn't happen. And then I think they had me and Tony Storm in a bit with Corbin while he was out of his luck. And and he was going to do this thing where he's just going around to people asking for money. And so they had me and Tony there. They come up to Tony and go, here's your part for that. And I'm like, oh, what about my bit? And they're like, oh, sorry, you've been cut. I'm like, damn. And then 15 minutes, they cut all of them. I'm like, you couldn't have just waited and cut me with the whole thing.
Yeah, really.
So it was just funny, man. Like, comes and goes. Like, yeah, you pitch ideas, and then your writers and your staff, they all have ideas and stuff like that, and they're all cool people, and they're just so there's only so much time and only so many main characters. So I never took any of it personal. Like everyone tried. We tried different ways to do it. Like I had a few chats with Vince as well of like spitballing ideas, and yeah, never came to.
Did you like? Were you upset about the release, or did you see it coming, or were you
Oh
expected the
yeah,
release?
oh yeah. I expected it for 4 years with the run I was having. So I was like, yeah, every day is good. And when I got the call, thanks. I know you guys tried and were supportive, and also like they have that PC full of young talent, fresh young talent, um, who haven't been seen. So why not like use those people like fresh stuff. People love like people consumers and that love new things. So yeah, I don't take any of it personally. I saved my money and took care of my body. Made a lot of good friends, some great memories. So yeah, I've got nothing to be too upset about. I would have loved one last like run without the mask as myself,
Right,
but
definitely.
it is what it is. She'll be
Now,
right.
just going back to Pro Wrestling Nova for a second, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you guys, when you were there, Pro Wrestling Nova was still, not as hot, obviously, as New Japan. New Japan was like
Mm-hmm.
red hot, but
Yeah.
Noah was definitely there. They've slowed down a bit. Maybe they're starting to pick up steam again. But I
Oh, they're
feel
doing great now, man. I love the product now. I love seeing Noah and how they're doing. They've got the Wrestle Universe, is it? I'm probably saying that wrong. And it's like them, DDT, and one of the Joshi promotions, and maybe some more other things.
yeah,
But
it's like
yeah,
their
that's
streaming service.
that's helped them pick up and like their shows look awesome. Was it? I think it was Genesis or something before, and the entranceway was sick. It was awesome, like huge entranceways, great production going into it, and then like the quality of the work from the guys are amazing.
I
So
feel like
I definitely hope the best for them, man. Like I'm glad that like things are picking up for them now for sure.
when you guys just left, though, I don't know, it was a little bit of a lull for them for a little bit because it's like they lost some. You guys obviously lost some top talent, but
Hmm.
one of your, I guess not really trainer, but one of the guys, kind of your mentor, I guess, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. I love this guy, Marufuji.
Yeah,
Obviously, still doing his thing over there. Still great for
yeah,
Noah.
still changing, innovating as much as he can. Yeah, you watch his stuff, and he always brings something new to it. Even if it's a variation of his own stuff. Yeah, he's such an innovator of wrestling.
Was he a bit of a like mentor for you guys? It seemed like it.
Definitely, definitely. Like after, like when we first went there, the first few tours, I think the first match we ever had um, was me versus Mikey, and we're like, we have to impress, like we have to do everything. And so he did like a shooting star, and I did a coast to coast, and we did all of this stuff in 10 minutes. And we come backstage, and he pulled us aside and was like, "That's not what they want to see. People want to see you start here and grow." Um, so yeah, he gave us plenty along the journey. He definitely gave us advice on how to work and how to do the Japan stories and how to put a match together and things like that. And he'd take us out and look after us, things like that too. He's a very, very good person.
Yeah, he's
And
great.
he loved to practice his English with us.
Oh,
Yeah,
did he have good English?
yeah. He studied it. I'm pretty sure. And one day he told us he had his English license. And we're like, cool, like that's great. Like I don't know what that means, but that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's a real thing. Yeah.
thanks. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
so
him.
that's
It's
funny.
great stuff. Yeah, when he came
Hmm.
over, I mean, just we're going back years, but he came over for Ring of Honor a bunch of
Yeah.
times in the
Hmm.
States. I mean, and killed it every time.
Yeah.
I mean, oof.
Yeah. Effortless.
So as we hit the wind down, head towards the finish here. What is next, though? I know we were talking about possible places, but like ROH is, I guess, still around. They said they're coming back. Impact's
Hmm.
out there. AEW is out there.
Hmm.
Are these all guys that are on your radar? Promotions that are on your radar?
Everywhere is on my radar, man. Like, obviously, the bigger the better. That's great, but man, I like the grit of these smaller companies that are starting to like really show. Like GCW is one that's like really showing, like it's clawing to get those spots. I'm just looking to get back in there with anyone. Single stuff, tag stuff with Jonah. Yeah, I love wrestling, man. I just want to do it.
I know you said New Japan. Obviously, you guys are part of
Definitely, yeah.
New Japan for a little bit there with the Noah connection, but you would want to get back there, which would be great. As
Yeah, I
long,
love
as
Japan,
long
man.
as
I miss
everything opens
Japan.
up.
I love it. Like I want to get back there in front of their crowds, back doing that style, things like that. So I'm very excited for things to come with New Japan Strong as well, because that very much embodies the traditions that Japan has and New Japan have.
Seems like you like the culture over there too. Like you really
Yeah,
enjoy Japan.
yeah, yeah. It's there's so much respect there, and that's the style of worker that myself and Mikey and a lot of the Team DK guys are. That we're not. I don't know. I guess we're not that internet savvy and promoting savvy. It's what we do in the ring is what we want people to see and be like, I want that guy on my shows. I want this guy doing stuff by that. What they see in the ring is where we make our mark.
Where do you want to see yourself just in a few years? Just if we can get, fast forward to the future, like where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Do you want like a full-time job in the business somewhere? You want to be back in Japan full-time? Like where do you want to be?
I'd love to be doing Japan. Fly in, fly out of LA, which I mean, pretty good. Do a bit of LA, a bit of Australia. See my family there. But yeah, New Japan definitely is somewhere I want to see myself. I want to see myself and Mikey as IWGP heavyweight champions and GHC heavyweight champions at the same time. Let's see what else. Who else has tag championships? I want to see me and Mikey with them. The Never Six-Man championships with Jonah, and I want to see Jonah win the singles belt over there too. I want to see. My goal now is what I would love to see. One of my dream things, whether that happens in a year or 5 years, is like a 10-man, 16-man tag team, all of TMDK versus Chaos, or something like that. Whoever they got, because there's the boys in TMDK, your Marcus Pitts and your Damian Slayers, your Slexers. They are world-class talent. They are incredible wrestlers, and they look incredible. They're great on the mic. They've got all the tools, and it's just you can see them. They're online, stuff like that, but they just don't have that international exposure as much coming from Australia. So I want them to experience. I'd love to bring them for a tour, and like a lot of them have families, like they're settled in Australia with their wives and kids and other careers as well. So it can't be a full-time thing for them, but I'd love for them to experience a tour in Japan, Tokyo Dome, and like that respect that they deserve, because they work so hard and they are so good.
The mighty don't kneel, right? TMDK
That's it,
for
man.
life. Yeah, there
That's
you go.
it.
Before we let you go, give us all the plugs, your social media, where everybody can find you.
The internet. That's where I'm at. If you just, what is it? What is my handles? Shane TMDK. Yeah, Shane TMDK. That's what it is. I don't remember. Then what have I got? I got Twitter. I got the Instagram.
Yep.
I'm on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes as Pew Pew Shane. But, my friend's request there is pretty full. I just wanted to plug that game because I'm an addict. What do we got? We got some YouTubes and stuff. TMDK has a bunch of stuff, man. Like I want to plug my boys, get everyone what's good for the gander. They're my mans.
Awesome. Great stuff, Shane. Hope to see you maybe in New Japan
Yeah,
sooner
man.
rather than later. But thank you so much for all the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, mate. Have a good one.